Hi guys, today we'll look at racial identity and ethnic identity. We'll look at the similarities and differences between the two, a common misconception, and how these identities are overall linked to intercultural communication. We'll also look at why scholars argue whether racial and ethnic identities are similar or different. Ethnic identity is a sense of belonging to a particular group and knowing something about the shared experience of the group. So it's how strongly an individual subscribes to the cultural values, attitudes, beliefs, and traditions of that group. Racial identity, on the other hand, is a sense of collective identity that is based on a perceived common heritage with a racial group. So basically, it's the significance and meaning of race or your racial experience within your life. Racial groups used to be classified according to biological characteristics, but more recently, scientists have seen the need to recognize that race can be socially and historically constructed.
So I'm going to talk about some of the major differences between racial identity and ethnical identity. One of the major differences is the fact that race is majorly based upon physical aspects of an individual, such as skin color, while ethical identity is based upon social and historical aspects of a community or society. Racial identity is a social construction, while ethnical identity is mostly of a self-constructed nature due to its specificities that vary from place to place. One other aspect in which ethnical identity and race identity differ is the fact that race is mostly institutionalized, which means that people tend to associate the physical aspects of a person with their character or the way that they live life, while the ethnical identity is more open to different and new things to come. There is a fixed number of races, which the most common are the black people, the white people, the yellow people, and the red people. While ethnical groups are always coming up, they don't have a fixed number.
Okay, when it comes to similarities between racial identity and ethnic identity, we came up with a few. So the first one was the fact that both are socially constructed. The second one is both come with privileges and oppressions. For example, white privilege and oppression of people of color. Both are part of someone's identity, and lastly is both have historical explanations in regards to their origin and uprise. Yes.
So I'll be speaking about a common misconception about both racial identity and ethnic identity, and my focus will be on superiority complex. Superiority complex refers to behavior that suggests a person believes they are superior to others, or an exaggerated opinion of oneself, or thinking that your abilities and achievements surpass those of others. So when it comes to racial identity, we can bring out white supremacy as an example. We've seen years of racism an example can be United States of America. We've seen slavery, and this just shows white supremacy they think that they're better than black people. And superiority complex in ethnicity, a good example can be our country, Kenya, and that it comes out during elections mostly, where the political scene is dominated by certain tribes that have been dominating it since our independence and up to date. And you find that other ethnicities are just forced to follow these tribes and vouch for the leaders that they feel that should lead the country.
I'll be looking at how ethnic and racial identity affect how we communicate on a daily basis in our lives. And there's research that shows how race affects communication, and it says that the white race are perceived as more approaching and communicatively competent, while the black race are seen as less approachable and less expressive with themselves. And also, if you may notice that when foreign students go to another country, like to a foreign country for further studies or work, they tend to group into races that are similar with them. So because they find they can be more communicative in those groups. In terms of ethnic background, what we communicate in, like, according to our beliefs, and some of them can be what we consider to be polite. And also another point can be how we address people who are older than us. For example, in an African setting, we're unconditionally told to be respectful of our elders. Well, for Western culture, it's not really the same. And also in terms of physical contact, even in greetings, African people are very touchy. And like now British people is the whole hand greeting thing with a distance.
Yeah, thank you for watching our video. Bye.
Bye.